Pause. Forward. March. Off. Pause. Pause. Present. Arms.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Post. Right. Face. Forward. March.
Thank you. All you may be seated. I'm going to ask the vice chair to do the roll call.
Al,
Present.
Teresa,
Present.
Michelle,
Here.
Kate, here, Gladys,
Here.
Lauren,
Here.
Juanita,
Here.
Holly, Richard Janelli,
Here. Thank you. Next on our agenda, we will have recognition. I'm going to turn this part of the agenda over to our superintendent.
Thank you, Board Chair Cooper. I'd like to welcome to the public comment area Tina Malhotra, the Richfield Board of Education Chair, who's here tonight to present an award to some of our very hardworking staff.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Tina Malhotra. I am the Richfield Board of Education Chair, but today I'm here on behalf of CAPE to recognize the efforts of the Danbury Public Schools and to present you with this award. But in order to receive a Bonnie D. Carney Award of Excellence for Educational Communications, entries must meet all of the following criteria. First is the general criteria, which includes clarity of message, image, and consistency. And second, the specific guidelines of readability, editing, graphics, type, format, and presentation, design, and value of expenditure. I'm very happy to present Danbury Public Schools with the Award for Excellence for Educational Communication for the Student Parent Handbook, the Danbury Public Schools Back to School Guide. So congratulations. CAPE has been honoring school districts with the Award of Excellence for Educational Communication since 1975. In 2016, this award was renamed in honor of a longtime CAPE staff member, Bonnie B. Carney, in recognition of her 47 years of dedication to education that was focused in communications. With this award, CAPE's goal is to identify and honor the hardworking people in school districts for their continuing effort to communicate effectively. So congratulations all. Great job.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to have Ann and Grace come up and some of the other members who worked really hard and collaborated on the content of the guide that we put together for the beginning of this particular school year. So it came out very wonderfully. The board members, it's in your work. Ian and Grace, did you have anything you want to say a little bit about this award? Ian, you want to come up and talk a little bit about how we arrived at this particular model this year?
Hi, everyone. Thank you. This is truly a meaningful moment for us because in our Office of Family, School, Community Partnerships, we work so closely with our families, and we know that our families are just sponges for information to be able to do better for their children. And so our Back to School Guide has been an opportunity for us to really show everything that this wonderful school district does for our families and gives the families the information that they need to be able to be successful in their time with us at Danbury Schools.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to Mike Seeley, who works really closely with us in all communications, but in this guide as well. And so I was trying to get him to come and take the photo with us because he was just as much a part of this project as we were. So thank you, Mike, for all your support. And it was really exciting for me to be a part of this and be able to cater this to our families in special ways with links to information that we know they were looking for throughout the year, translated in as many languages as we needed it to be. So it was just an exciting project to work on, and I'm looking forward to next year, Tina, if you're here. Awesome. I didn't know we were still in the building, but we will see you next year.
I love this thing in job.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you so much. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. I just wanted to add, Grace and Ann, the work you guys do over there is just incredible, and you have an amazing way to just distill complexity down into just clear, simple messaging that everybody can understand, and not turn it into edgy speak, and to just break down really complex ideas into simple things that people can use and almost turnkey, into their daily lives. So thank you for all you do, and I mean this book was all you guys. So thank you so much.
All right, and next up we have Spotlight Your School, King Street Primary. Principal Donatella Ferreira.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to be here tonight to spotlight King Street Primary. My name is Dawn Ferreira, as Mira stated. King Street Primary is unique in the sense that we are one of the only 2 primary schools in the district. So we only service K through 3. Even though we are a small school in the sense that we only service K through 3, we do have about 410 students there. Every day at King Street Primary, magic happens. And that magic is because of the dedication of the staff that I have on board. I would not be able to do and accomplish what I've accomplished without their support and help. And I'd like for them to stand at this time, those that are here, to be recognized, and for me to publicly thank them for all that they do. Collectively, we have over 400 years of service to DPS at King Street Primary. Many of us are lifers, and we are proud to be there, and we will continue. I am honored to share this cute little video we did for you tonight, which highlights many wonderful things that we do at King Street Primary. In our video, you will see snippets of who we are, what makes us great, anything from our King Street Tiger Citizens to our kindness capes that we award to our students weekly for showing kindness all around school. The children are proud of who they are, and they're proud to show their stripes each and every day. And 5 minutes really does not do it justice. So I would like to invite any and all of you to come and visit whenever you would like. It would be an honor to have you there. Enjoy the video.
What I like about King Street is that the walls are very painted and colorful. It makes me feel welcome, joyful, and cheerful. What I like about this school is that it has many nice teachers. They're really kind, smart, and nice. And teach us how to learn new stuff. She is always kind, she's respectful. She has patience for everybody when we're not ready. And she loves kids. And she loves teaching everybody. And that's what I love about this classroom. She's always empathetic, and she's never saying bad things about people. And when I need help, I go up to her and ask her for help, and then she helps me out with what I'm not understanding. But every time we go back with her, once we're done, she lets us pick our stickers. I love my teacher. When it's time to leave, I don't want to leave. I love her so much. Whenever she makes a mistake, she makes the mistake funny. We did fun things together. We did so many fun things together, and now she's like not my teacher anymore. And I still like her, and she always kind to me. Every morning I go past by her class, she gives me a hug, she says good morning to me. And Tess, she doesn't, every time I get something wrong, she says, all your answers don't have to be, if you get it wrong, it's okay. What I like about King Street is that I get to go to the gym and learn new stuff that I haven't done before.
So just a little tidbit, the children had a jump rope challenge for the American Heart Association, and many children had never jumped rope before, and even I got in on a little bit. And every child is now, before they go out to recess, they go out and borrow jump ropes because they want to continue jumping. They love to jump roping.
That I haven't done before. Stuff that I haven't done before is about we do new activities and we learn new stuff with the activities. Well, right now I'm learning about time, and I love to learn about time because that's how I get smarter. What I learned is to be grateful for what we have already. We were doing this thing and we read a book and we were talking about lessons, and then I saw in this book that it taught me to be respectful of what we have. They talk about kindness because some people already got the Tiger Citizen, and we need to be like them. And the teacher put something in the board that with words that show kindness and respect. They stand for nice stuff like S stands for safety. T stands for teamwork. R stands for respect. I means integrity. P means personal best. E stands for empathy. There's really kind people, like my friends and more. other people from 2nd grade, kindergarten, 1st grade, and 3rd grade. In 1st grade, I met my first friend, and we was really good together, and we keep being in the same class as each other. It was like so scary to know nothing like in the school, and like I lost my other friends, and I was like so scared to come to the school and no one liked me. And she was like from 2nd grade. She helped me for everything, and like she was kind to me. And then I noticed how to be, and then I have new friends. I love King Street personally because there's a lot of friends that people can make, and there's over like 300 kids around here, and I love how they all are not rude. I still love making friends, and what I like about King Street is that I make a lot of new friends, and throughout the year, I've had a pretty good relationship with all my teachers. Same as me.
And that's what makes us great.
Thank you, Tom. I want to thank the staff for coming out tonight. It's just another testament to the culture. When we see staff come out to support the principal and we see parents here, we know there's something really good happening in the school, and that's great. So that's attributed to your leadership. So we thank you for coming out tonight, and thank you for all that you do for King Street. Thank you.
Now we're going to move into the public participation portion of our agenda. I'm going to ask you, if you plan to speak, we will limit you to 3 minutes. We have a large agenda tonight. We have an audience full of people that want to speak. And we're going to ask you to be courteous of us, and we're going to be courteous of you, that you give us 3 minutes, and so everybody can get their conversation in or message they want to bring to us. Okay, Lauren?
The Board of Education welcomes public participation and asks that speakers please limit their comments to 3 minutes. Speakers may offer objective comments of school operations and programs that concern them. The board will not permit any expression of personal complaints or defamatory comments about Board of Education personnel and students, nor against any person connected with the Danbury Public School System. Before the start of the board meeting, those wishing to address the board in public session or to sign in, 3 minutes may be allotted to each speaker and a maximum of 30 minutes for public participation. The board may modify these limitations by a majority vote of those present at the beginning of the meeting.
Thank you. First speaker is Carol. If I don't pronounce it right, just come on up and make your announcement.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Vaughn, and I'm here today to advocate for the important role of sports in our educational system. Sports aren't just about physical activity, but they're about shaping the minds and characters of our students. Participation in sports teaches students valuable life lessons that go beyond the classroom. When students engage in sports, they learn the importance of teamwork, discipline, and perseverance. These qualities are essential for success not only in sports, but in all aspects of life. By working together towards a common goal on the field, court, or mat, students develop crucial interpersonal skills that will serve them well in their future careers and relationships. Moreover, sports promote physical health and well-being in a time where inactive lifestyles and screen time are prevalent. Sports provide a platform for students to stay active and develop healthy habits. Regular physical activity through sports not only improves physical fitness, but also boosts mental health, reducing stress and anxiety levels among students. Sports also foster a sense of community and school spirit. Athletic events bring students, families, and educators together, creating a strong sense of belonging and pride in our school. This collective enthusiasm contributes to a positive school culture and reinforces the values of sportsmanship, respect, and inclusivity. As we strive to provide a well-rounded education for our students, we must continue to prioritize and invest in sports programs. By doing so, we are investing in the holistic development of our students, promoting their physical, social, and emotional growth. I urge the board to reaffirm our commitment to sports in education and allocate resources to support and expand our athletic programs. Let us empower our students to excel not only academically, but also as confident, resilient, and healthy individuals prepared to face the challenges of today and tomorrow. Thank you for your attention.
And thank you for your time. Matthew?
Good evening. My name is Matthew Gurn, and it's been my privilege to be educated from the Danbury Public School System. Thank you all for what you do as the Board of Education and School Administration to support Danbury students. The education I received and the after-school opportunities I've taken advantage of have opened me up to new interests and helped me forge new relationships and lifelong friendships. Given the budgetary constraints we're all facing, I'd like to suggest at no additional cost a change in policy to help make opportunities I've been given a more widespread reality for Danbury High School students. To participate in high school athletics at DHS, you must be focused and committed to an extensive training and participation schedule. For many students who are part-time after school, help their families with sibling care, or taking multiple AP classes, that type of commitment is impossible. I'd like to suggest that the board and administration were to adjust the policy for the creation of new club sports. We might be able to offer students an available after-school pathway to athletics. One of the difficulties that must be surmounted to create a club sport is finding educator sponsors. My suggestion is that policy can be adjusted to have well-vetted, fingerprinted, background checked, community adult parent sponsors who help oversee and guide club sports. By adjusting this policy slightly, the burden of oversight and direction isn't just on our educators in the system, but on volunteer community members. Moreover, by expanding the accessibility of club sports, we can ensure that every student, regardless of their schedule or responsibilities, has a chance to experience the camaraderie, discipline, and every other benefit that comes with being part of a team. By broadening the scope of club sports, we can cater to a wider range of interests and abilities, ensuring that more students find a place where they feel they belong. This policy change is not just about sports, it's about creating more inclusive and diverse opportunities for all students to grow, learn, and thrive during their time at Danbury High School. I recognize that there are material costs involved, but knowing our community, I fully believe that if club sports at DHS could be easily set up, the materials and equipment could be solicited from the community as donations and kept at DHS for each new year of participants. Given the burgeoning budget constraints, I hope you can see the advantage of promoting thoughtful policy change with student and community input, providing space for the easy development of low-cost, high-student impact club sports. Thank you sincerely for your time tonight and all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you. De'Ara?
Daniel?
Daniel. Oh, Daniel. I'm close.
So, my name is Dan, and I'm a sophomore at DHS. Today, I would like to point out how the academies are going to change extracurriculars. I understand that the current plan is to have buses for each student back to the main building after each school day. And there are a few problems that come with this when imagining how a realistic school day would go on. We have to provide a bus for everyone, as it would be unrealistic to weed out those without real extracurriculars and deny them from the bus. And a seat for everyone seems like an inefficient use of spending, bringing every kid back to the main campus and potentially sending them home afterwards. But another issue is the limiting nature of forcing extracurriculars into the main campus. If the strategy is to allow for buses to bring students back to the main campus, then all extracurriculars must be at the main campus. If not, students won't be able to get there. First, this means that any equipment we have at the academies can't be used in extracurriculars, which seems like wasted potential. Specialized academies seem like a perfect place to create niche clubs, but that won't be possible. Another more important problem that stems from this is the teachers. How are they going to run their clubs? If a teacher is moved to the academies and they have to run a club at the main campus, how are they going to get there? Asking them to drive to the main building during all of the traffic of an average dismissal at DHS seems excessive and not fair to ask for. Teachers will start to decline to run clubs purely because of how much inconvenience it is. And I don't blame them, I'd probably do it too if I was a teacher. Either a club will be at DHS, which means teachers have extra work to run clubs, or the club will be at the academies and everyone gets to find their own route. Either way, that's problematic for somebody. I know I'm pointing out problems here and really not offering solutions, but that's because I don't have it. If you truly want to fix these problems, you have to talk with teachers, students that have ideas, people that know more than me about the academies and can offer real solutions. A wide variety of extracurriculars is one of DHS's best features, so I hope these academies won't jeopardize that. Thank you for listening.
Alexander?
Good evening. I'm Alexander Hrzakovic. As you might know, extracurriculars give numerous opportunities and benefits to students. They give important skills like cooperation, responsibility, social interaction, leadership, time management, and etc. These activities also provide students with hobbies and interests, interaction and friendship with other students, and they allow students to get involved in their schools and communities. This involvement could give them opportunities in higher levels of education and jobs. All students benefit from participating in extracurriculars. However, students are unable to because of transportation. Most extracurriculars occur soon after school, but many students are unable to have someone take them home. As a student involved in them myself, I can attest to this fact. Many times I have to wait for one of my parents to get off work. I sit outside of Denver High School for sometimes almost an hour with many other students. It is clear that this is a chronic problem when it comes to the accessibility of extracurricular activities. Most students have other responsibilities like chores, homework, and other commitments that they can't make time to wait for a ride home. As a solution to the problem, we can incorporate a public bus stop at Denver High School. This bus stop would allow many students who have to wait for hours after school the opportunity to get home and complete their chores and finish their homework, while still being able to experience extracurriculars and learn the important skills they provide. Making these programs more accessible to students doesn't just benefit them, but our entire community. Not only will more students be involved in their schools, but also their communities, supporting their futures and quality of our city. As the Board of Education, it is your job to be supporting our students in their academic ventures. Whether that be the accessibility of extracurriculars and creating a bus stop, it is important that you try to support our extracurriculars. Thank you.
Thank you. Cody?
Hi, my name is Cody and I'm a junior at DHS. Many clubs at DHS are unfunded and this is not an issue, but some do require minimal amounts of funding. Yearly dues from students may cover costs of the club depending on the number of people who join year to year. Some of these are base costs, such as fees required to join competitions. However, dues are not a consistent way of funding clubs as the number of students can vary from year to year. So a consistent annual budget for each club will make managing funds easier for all clubs and would eliminate required dues from students. This removes a financial barrier for entry into clubs and allows more students to try out clubs without risk of financial loss. Unfortunately, with the budget shortfall this upcoming school year, I understand if a consistent annual budget for each club cannot be implemented. However, I still urge you all to keep this in mind as a way to better our clubs for your children and my peers. In addition, I suggest making the funding of clubs and sports more transparent for parents and students. I recommend that a document or website page be published every time that the budget is finalized that includes the funding each extracurricular activity receives compared to how much they requested. This could be developed even further down the line where funding requests for each club can be tracked, similar to how Congress tracks bills through GovTrack. Transparency about how the budget is distributed is vital, as students and parents are unable to make good decisions about education if critical information, such as funding, is hidden. Shifting to transparency in extracurricular funding allows students and parents to understand how the budget is distributed and allows them to act on this information to make funding of extracurriculars fair for all students. With these in mind, I hope you seriously take my considerations, and I thank you for your service.
Thank you. Michaela?
Good evening, Board of Ed members. My name is Michaela Murphy, and tonight I wanted to speak to you about the music program at Danbury High School. We know that we want to increase academic achievement, that there are problems with discipline and chronic absenteeism, and that students are struggling more than ever with their mental health. Participation in band could be the key factor to solving all of these problems. Multiple band students I spoke to credit the program with improvements in their grades and their mental health. I spoke to a freshman about how difficult her year has been because she wasn't involved in any extracurriculars, calling it, quote, lonely and isolating. Since joining the band's winter programs, she's made new friends and, quote, found her place at DHS. Her experience is a stark contrast to his different freshmen who joined band immediately and said that he, quote, enjoyed meeting new friends and that marching band, quote, helped him transition into his first year of high school. One of our 8th graders credits her participation in the high school band with drastic improvements in her grades and her behavior during the fall. As soon as the season ended, she began to struggle again. A study from the University of Kansas states that, quote, students engaged in music programs outperformed their peers on every indicator: GPA, graduation rate, ACT scores, attendance, and discipline referrals. And that, quote, band is important for creating a sense of belonging and purpose for students. They identify themselves as musicians and as being in band, and that they're motivated to come to school so they can participate in music. Currently, only 43 students are benefiting from marching band at DHS, a number that hasn't exceeded 50 in over a decade. So what can the board do to help grow our program besides monetary assistance? Scheduling is the biggest issue. Chadder High School recently implemented auto-scheduling, and as a result, their band program is going to grow over 50% next year. Auto-scheduling 8th grade band students into the high school band classes could triple the size of the band and support 9th graders through a difficult transition. In Bethel, students signed up for a performing ensemble are given a priority, and with less than 1,000 students in their high school, they're the reigning national champions. Scheduling music classes first after course selections helps make sure students get the classes they request. Districts across the country offer PE credits to students who participate in marching band or color guard, with schools like Trumbull offering them as daytime classes. And multiple districts in Connecticut, including Norwalk, when faced with budget cuts, made a point to preserve instrumental music programs at their elementary school levels. Danbury could be a district where music thrives. The talent is here in our teaching staff, in our student body, and in our diverse community. Your support of the band program and adoption of some of these policies can make us a music district that fits the legacies of famous Danbury residents like Marian Anderson and Charles Ives. Thank you for your time.
Xana? Suzanne. I'm sorry, young lady.
That's okay. Hi everyone, my name is Susanna Gomez, a sophomore at Danbury High School. I've been playing my sport at a club since 6th grade and started varsity since freshman year. That being said, there are many things that need to be improved about our sports programs. From my personal experience, aspiring student athletes are struggling to perform and better themselves under the conditions we are facing. The main issue, based on my experience, is the coaching. Sports with more attention, like football and basketball, gain more funding from the school. This allows for not only better equipment, but also more knowledgeable coaches and staff. My sport, along with many others, gained nearly no funding. This decision is reflected by our coach, or lack thereof. Never in my 5 years of playing had I been coached by someone who's never played a sport. Though my coach did the very best she could by researching drills on the internet, a sports team is much different compared to a school assignment you can just research. Her lack of understanding of my sport was clear, and it cost her and my team valuable time and effort. I can speak for everyone, including the players and the coach, when I say each season was stressful and emotional. Multiple of my teammates that always had a love for their sport considered quitting, including me. This is especially taxing considering the stress now being added to the countless assignments, responsibilities, and time management skills that come with being a student athlete. For a long time, I blamed my coach, but how much can be expected from someone who's never played the sport for coaching and have little respect from their players based off of that fact? Dedicated athletes and coaches should have should not have to suffer due to a lack of funding. Countless of talented athletes have been set back because they gained no new experience from high school season. I have even found myself getting worse and developing bad habits, which puts me at a disadvantage for club season and my college future, which luckily my family and I are able to afford. That being said, athletes should not have to rely on expensive club seasons. High schools should be there to nurture dedicated athletes the best they can, regardless of sports or level of skill. There should be no one sport that receives a majority of funding simply because it's more popular. If my sport and countless others receive the resources deserved, then athletes will gain more knowledge and be able to reach their full potential, making their commitment, time, and tears all worth it in the end. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Brian?
Board of Education, thank you for hearing me tonight. My name is Brian Walsh, and I want to talk to you about the music program and the curriculum position we are forced into due to lack of funding. So marching band is a sport that all people can love, but in recent times has become more pay to win. With the recent additions of props and vocal samples, many marching bands are able to exemplify the talents as much as they want due to their excess of funding compared to ours. For example, we give $2,000 to techs who have been here for years, where other bands can afford to give starting techs twice the salary as ours. They can afford techs who have marched Blue Devils, Crown Crusaders, the best of the best, while we can barely, and they can have up to 10 of these techs, while we can barely afford to pay 4 techs, one of which, who I know personally, has not even been paid yet for this year's season. We are forced to buy shows, which, although many bands do as well, limits us in how we want to express our bands, such as bands like Norwalk, Cheshire, Newtown, and many others can afford to have their own music written to their band strips. In our history, we have never surpassed 90 in our score, while these other bands with these fundings have surpassed 93, have gotten 93s and 94s consistently at the end of every year. And their students' dues are less than ours, but we have and their dues are allow them to more exemplify and get extra props, while our dues are used to merely stay afloat in our bed. Bethel, our neighbors, have also been able to fund guard programs all the way down to primary school, which has allowed their guards to excel in every level. While all guard can barely compete in winter guard, which is the winter version of color guard, and we are barely competitors because we cannot afford the props, the music, the staff to in a sense be a competing factor. We lack the funding for uniforms and instruments, which this in a sense limits our growth as a band because we can't afford to give kids uniforms and instruments. We have 2 tubas in our band, both of which have huge holes in them, and one of which has had mold growing in it for years. But we can't even risk the money to have that fixed at a risk of being someplace else. Our band program has been crippled because our needs have been overlooked compared to others. We need more funding, and many times the marching band is the silent partner at football games, at pep rallies. We are the heart of the school, yet in a sense the provider of the budget. And many kids at DHS look forward to marching band as the highlight of their day. For many other kids, it is the only highlight of their day. I know personally one kid whose only friends, the only way he's able to have friends is through marching band. And in a sense, we struggle to provide that to as many students as we want to because of our lack of funding and the lack of knowledge of our band. Really what we ask is not necessarily a large amount of funding compared to Norwalk, because we understand our district doesn't have that funding. But we ask for more consideration and more support in a sense. We appreciate all the kind words that you all say, but we request that we get maybe a little more funding, a little more publicity for the younger generation so they understand that we are available, and also know that we are available to any school in Danbury and not just for kids at DHS. And we hope that through this we can give our marching band and our band program a chance to grow and to provide a place where all kids are welcome and can enjoy themselves. And as one of my peers before said, people who do band are more likely to do better in school. They have better time management. I personally took Civic AP in the same year, and band helped me through that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Maliki?
Good evening. I'm Maliki Nunez, and I'm a 10th grade student at Danbury High School. First off, thank you all for your time. Today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of integrating sports deeply into our middle schools. There's even a middle school middle school should offer a broader range of extracurriculars, including sports and clubs. As educators and community members, we have a responsibility to nurture not only our minds, but also the bodies of our young people. Here are a few reasons why I believe sports should play a prominent role in middle school education. Firstly, physical activity is essential for overall health and well-being. In an age where screen time dominates, providing opportunities for regular exercise through sports is crucial. By engaging in sports, students are not only able to improve their physical fitness, but also develop lifelong habits that promote healthy and longevity. Secondly, sports teach valuable life skills that extend far beyond the playing. Teamwork, leadership, discipline, and resilience are just a few examples of the qualities that students learn through sports participation. These skills are fundamental to success in all aspects of life, including academic, careers, and relationships. Currently, non-high school students have limited options of recreational or travel sports, which can be costly for families. If middle schools provided sports programs, it would enhance the overall school experience. Personally, I found trying a new sport in high school daunting due to the lack of experience. If I had more chances to play sports earlier on, it would have been easier to try out for teams. Those who can afford outside teams often secure spots in others. The social aspect of school is crucial. Without it, the students may dislike school and be less inclined to attend. By involving students in sports at a younger age and encouraging continued participation, it can make more friends and enjoy school more. It would also improve the attendance rates, a significant issue nationwide. While funding for sports programs may be an obstacle, fundraising and community support can cover a large portion of this cost. In conclusion, to boost students' engagement in schools activities, especially sports, offering a wider range of extracurricular options is essential. Again, thank you all for your time. Have a good evening.
Layla?
Good evening. I am Leila Howard, and I'm a junior at Danbury High School. Danbury High School has so many talented athletes and so much to offer in general. With this being said, lowering the funds for sports or clubs would almost be eliminating these programs in general. Many extracurricular programs require out-of-pocket payment because the funds from the school simply do not cover everything. Even with the fundraiser, if more money is taken.
Excuse me, could you put the mic so we cannot hear you? Thank you.
If more money is taken from these programs, there will probably be less children able to afford them, and certain sports that are already so limited with the amount of players they have. These programs are meant to be an outlet for children to get out energy and do good things. The athletic program at Danbury High School are run well, but some sports are already costly. Please do not cut funding for sports because it limits opportunities for athletes to participate. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Alicia?
Good evening. My name is Alicia Johnson. I'm a sophomore at Danbury High School. Today I would like to speak to you about the importance of supporting athletic extracurriculars in our schools. Firstly, I would like to say that we all should realize that education is really important.
Alicia, could you put the mic so we can hear? Okay.
Firstly, I would like to say that we all should realize that education goes further than the walls of the classroom. While academics are important, these extracurricular activities offer an opportunity for students to explore their passions, learn new skills, and even come out of their comfort zones. Joining in on these activities have not only helped me during my time at DHS, but also made others stand out. However, the problem is that these extracurriculars are not funded and supported enough by the schools. I have noticed that in many sports teams, there isn't enough money to provide players and coaches with the materials needed to succeed as a team. Leaving coaches with the only option, which is using their own money. If we care about players and students growing on their courts and fields, it is important that we as a community invest the time and money into supporting them as well. Investing into these student athletes can help our sports teams grow and encourage other students to join them as well. We're not just asking for money, it's the importance of coming out and showing up for these games and athletes as well, showing the unity and support of
Thank you. Aisha? Pull it up close.
Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
My name is Misha, and I'm here to talk about the swim team of DHS. When most people ask about the swim team, they don't really know that the swim team exists, and it's not really cared about at all. We only have a head coach, and we're the only team in the FCI League with no diving coach and no assistant coach. Most of the teams we verse are double L schools or large schools that have divers on their teams. This is the reason why so many more points can be made, but we don't have a diving coach. Diving is an event at our meets that we can't participate in, automatically giving other teams with 3 divers like 13 per week. Our school also does not have a pool for our swim team, regardless of being a double L school that versus other L schools or double L schools with pools. We have to swim at WestCon. Due to the pool availability and conflicts with other sports at WestCon, the swim team has about half the pool time of other FCI teams, which makes it hard to compete. And the head coach of the DHS swim team has taught many non-swimmers how to swim effectively. This is a life-saving and critical skill to possess. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So we have 3 more speakers, okay? So Patty, then Adam, and then Mohammed, okay? So okay, Patty, okay?
Good evening, Dr. Casimiro and members of the board. With the announcement of a significant reduction in force due to our district's current economic struggles, I have some thoughts and some wonderings. First, are we still holding fast to the need to make every effort to keep operations intact at the building level that affect students? Second, the district has purchased the ARC Core Reading Program and Professional Development and is implementing the illustrative mathematics curriculum. Has consideration been given to the possibility that we don't need individual curriculum administrators for the time being? Since our enrollment will not decline and certain classes will need to continue to be taught, will the department heads, chairs teach classes that will support the students on all levels? Fourth, I forgot that was third. Fourth, with the increasing number of students that are dysregulated throughout the district and based on their IEPs, will facilitators and supervisors be considered to support students in need? And fifth, considering reading and math test scores pre and post-COVID, and the fact that we have amazing teachers who have and are following district directives, what can we do to promote success and improvement for our students with far fewer resources? As we are making cuts, we must consider our future. I do want to say all of the high school students have done an amazing job, so I know everybody is here promoting their interests and what they're believing in, and I just hope that we're really considering what we're cutting and where we're going from here. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you. Okay, Adam?
Hello, school board. Thank you for hearing me tonight. I'm coming today as a concerned parent and concerned uncle as to the fact of why we are allowing boys into the women's room at the high school, why my niece and my daughter should have to feel uncomfortable using a women's room because they're allowing boys in there. On top of that, they're being told if they're uncomfortable to go find a private bathroom or go to the nurse's office or something. Why is my daughter, my niece, being told to go somewhere else where they cannot use the women's room like they're supposed to be and feel safe in there? Because I don't even know what we're accommodating here, but I would like to answer. I would like to know why my daughter and my niece should text me and say, Daddy, Uncle Ed, I don't feel comfortable using the women's room. And when I tell teachers this, they tell me to go find a private bathroom or go to their nurse. And I would really like a legit answer as to why this is going on.
At this point, we do not dialogue with you back and forth. The superintendent is sitting.
I called the superintendent, ma'am, and I've got no response.
Okay.
I've left a message. I've gotten no call back.
Someone, we will not dialogue with you with the conversation. You want to finish your speech, and then at some point, someone will contact you.
What are you just pushing me away? I'm not supposed to be heard? I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm saying you can finish, you can complete your remarks or whatever you want to say. And I'm just saying, we do not dialogue back and forth with parents. Someone will contact you and have a discussion with you.
Why can't we dialogue it now?
Because that's not a part of our procedure now.
This is where
You coming before us, you coming before the board, showing us or telling us a concern. And we are listening to that concern, and someone in administration will contact you.
Okay, I get that.
Okay.
However, I've contacted superintendent before, and when I've spoken with the secretary at the superintendent office, they told me to come here tonight to voice my opinion so I can get some answers. And I'm literally just getting thrown around the loop here. I'm not getting any kind of response. I'm literally getting pushed this way and that way, trying to avoid an answer. I would like an answer. I don't want to hear somebody's going to contact me later, because they're not. They're not. I would like a legit answer, with all due respect.
Well, with all due respect, again, we do not dialogue back and forth. And I have given you the process that we go through. And I can guarantee someone will contact you tomorrow or later on after you continue with your message that you want to bring forth to us.
Okay. Well, then, who do I leave my information to so they can contact me?
I will step outside.
You step outside? I would love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mohammed?
Good evening, members of the Board of Ed. I'm Mohammed Nur and a senior in DHS. I'd like to start off by saying that extracurriculars aren't just about filling up our schedules. They are also about shaping our character, developing crucial skills, and preparing us for life beyond the hallways. Robotics Club, for example, is more than just building robots. It's about problem solving, teamwork, and creativity. Sports teams, they also play a crucial role. They teach us about teamwork, leadership, and the importance of physical health. When we advocate for funding in these clubs, we're investing in our future engineers, programmers, innovators, and it's through these skills that individuals are able to become successful and navigate throughout the world. When I came into DHS as a freshman, I made friends. Not only that, but I grew to know that these programs were underfunded. The equipment needed was pretty worn out. All I'm just saying is that when we advocate about extracurricular activities, it's not only about the fun after school activities, but about shaping the future leaders, innovators, and compassionate individuals that our world needs. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. On behalf of the board, I certainly would like to thank you all for participating in our public session tonight. And as we move forward with our agenda, now, at this point, we have an agenda to attend to, and we have given a half an hour to public speaking. And it's almost 8 o'clock. And I'm sorry, we're cutting off public participation. Okay? Thank you. Could I have a motion to move forward with the agenda? Could we move forward with the agenda, with the action item? The consent calendar? Juanita
For the
Harris?
consent calendar, the motion is that the Board of Education approve the items on the consent calendar, exhibits 24-76 and 24-77, as recommended and in accordance with the minutes, 3/18/24 Finance Committee and 3/27/24 regular board meeting.
Motion was made by Juanita.
Second.
Could I hear a seconded by?
Second.
Seconded by Kate. Are there any questions concerning the consent calendar? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion so carried. Thank you. We have anyone and our student reps here? Action item A, Richard Now.
Make a motion that the Board of Education set Thursday, June 13th, 2024 as the 2024 graduation date for Danbury High School.
Motion been made by Mr. Janelli. Could I hear a second? Seconded by Teresa. And there's any question? Should not be no question about graduation day. Okay, all in favor? Could I hear aye?
Aye.
Motion so carried. Action item B, Kate.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education accept for second reading and adoption the following policies for exhibits 24-78 through 24-85 as recommended by the Policy Committee and in accordance with each of those policies.
Motion made by Kate. Could I hear seconded by Al? There any question concerning any of these policies? And I know that the policy committee and most of us as board members have been working hard trying to get everything and the liaison person working with the group has been trying to put all these policies in place. So if there's no other questions, all in favor of the motion, could I hear aye? Aye. Motion so carried. Thank you all and thank the committee. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. So we just have a few short items tonight. One is the AIS update. I've been updating on a semi-regular basis about the status of AIS and our continued concerns with getting out of district placements to come. As you know, the tuition and the students actually that we get from our participating town helps with the funding of the school itself. So a lot of our staff is paid with magnet state dollars that we get by on a per pupil basis. So right now we have 3 kindergarten classes across and we are struggling to fill one currently, and we're getting late in the year. So we're going to switch it up a little bit and try some different strategies to increase some of the participation. And one is going to be to work with some of the surrounding towns to offer additional students who are on the waiting list, a tuition waiver to come in, so that any students beyond the cap that they have, we have a participating agreement. So if a school has 15 students on the cap, that they would have, they would be able to, beyond the cap, still send a couple of students from their waiting list. We only get about, next year, $1,247 a student from the sending schools. But what we get, the real money that we get, is when we get that student, we get the state aid reimbursement factor. So that's about $7,227. So it's kind of a give me to get some aid from the state. So we're going to work with surrounding towns to see if they're interested in increasing some of their participation by offering a few more seats on the waiting list. So that's very important. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to market it in many different ways. We've had a little bit of a campaign to have a video get created, to offer additional open houses, for the principal to go out to those towns to do more advocacy. In addition, we'll be talking and getting some information out to our Danbury Public School employees that maybe they too can also offer, they can have students come, their own child come for AIS, and then whatever town they're from would be responsible for the tuition fees on that. In addition, marketing to WestCon staff as well, who may be in the area, and that would be a convenient place for their child to go to school. So we're continuing to pull out all the stops on trying to get recruitment, but we don't want to lose those state dollars, so we're looking for creative ways to generate that. Yes, oh, sorry.
Thanks, Dr. Kessler, appreciate that update. What does it look like in terms of the timeline for this, so that we can understand?
Yesterday. Yeah, this is late. We're very, very late. We're past our, we should have everything. We're unable to. So Danbury families have applied to AIS as well, but because of our ratio, we're unable to invite the Danbury families who applied for the lottery to come, because we cannot go over our ratio balance right now. So we need more participating towns in order to invite the Danbury students. So it's a very frustrating situation right now. So again, trying to different creative ways to try to bolster the participation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Janelle?
Councilmember, do you know in terms of numbers, approximately what the shortfall is that we're looking to fill? Numbers of students.
Oh, well, right now we had last week we had about 12 students that were committed. We're up to about 17 now for one of the classrooms. So it's 2 classrooms really short for next year, so maybe like 50 students. Yeah.
Is it possible to go to other towns, or is it just too far out?
It's open, so we have partner agreements, so we have some surrounding towns that are partner agreements, and so there's a predetermined number that we work with, so they've already pre-committed at the formation of the magnet, its inception, that agreed to 15 or 20 or 30 seats. They paid for those each year. There's a tuition bill, the kids come. But any town in Connecticut can actually participate, any student from any town. They don't have to be in a partnering district, but there can be a participating district. We can pay from anywhere.
Thank you. Where will the video be shown?
Yep, so Mike stepped out, but it's been on local TV. I don't know if anybody's seen it, please say, seen it. If not, we're gonna have to bump that up, but it's been on some local, pushed out on some local. It's a very short video, it's not super long, but it's also been sent to those boards. And I believe it's now on our website, so if it's not, it will be. We just put a video together. Yeah, and I'll send it to the board so you can see it. Yeah.
In the participating towns, are we allowed to solicit in the daycare centers, the private daycare centers?
Yeah, as long as so we just had a partner agreement, so that we brought all the superintendents in, and that was one of our asks, is that you allow us access into your district, into your town fairs, or wherever you'd like to let us know, so we can set up a booth and we can talk to folks. But yes, we can. It's a matter of whether or not they want us to do that.
So by the numbers being so low, Superintendent, the state won't give no consideration,
No, we've been working very closely. We've been, as you know, we're on a corrective action plan because the number had dipped over the ratio. So we're working very closely with them, and they've been very informative, and it has taken a while to really understand all the do's and don'ts and what we're allowed to do. But there's not a lot of flexibility on the state magnet. We can get creative, like I said, around the edges of it to draw more in, but not from the state themselves.
Mrs. Janelle?
If things don't work out in our favor, I know there's a penalty if we go over whatever the ratio is, 70-30. Is there a chance that we can apply for an exception to that penalty and have more of our kids in the district that are on possibly the waiting list to get into the school to fill the seats?
So I think John, this year we already took a little hit on the funding, right?
We did.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a hit, and that will continue. What I'm hoping is that, we don't reach a point where we lose all the funding because we're not operating as intended. So that would be difficult, but The state is not flexible. What I do know is there are, and Dr. Rocco's in the back, there's like 30 or 60 other schools in a similar situation around the state. There's a large number of schools like AIS and in towns who are also on corrective action plans, also going through the same thing. So I'm wondering if that will force the hand of the state to actually come up with something, because schools are facing a similar, around the state, similar issue with this.
Is there a reason for, is there a financial reason that the motivation is dropped off? And as you said, it seems not only to be Danbury, but perhaps universal. Is there any specific reason that you can think of?
Yeah, you've got a couple things. So Brookfield was a bigger partner. Brookfield just built a brand new beautiful elementary school. So, right off the bat, you're gonna have a draw in that area. We continue to be popular with New Fairfield and New Milford, but they're only willing to send so many. They don't want to go beyond their cap because they budget for so many dollars, and they have to, transportation is always an issue that kind of falls on the sending district. So it's a situation really where once they budget, like I had a couple people call one of the local superintendents and said, we renegotiate our participation agreement, we're having a tough budget year, and so it's also a budget issue for them as well, and it's a little bit tough. Heading into this climate, all districts are looking for ways to trim, so they don't necessarily have to send, but I had asked them to consider, really look at their enrollment patterns, because, for example, it could be beneficial to them if they have 3 second grade classes or first grade classes are on the verge of having to open up a third. It could be very cost effective for them to let more students into the lottery, because it prevents them from having to add another FTE and all the things that go with that. So, yeah.
So there's no other question concerning
Okay. West Side Middle School flooring, just a little update there. Mike has stepped out. And I did put this in a board report earlier, but there's some damage to the sections of flooring, so it's actually a hole right through the floor. That was caused by either some type of a lack of moisture barrier that was underneath the portables when they were installed. And so we did an inspection, and you can see that it's probably aging a little bit more quickly than it should as a result of contact with moisture. So we had someone come in and they replaced a section of the subfloor. So it is safe, but just to be on the safer side, we wanted to bring an engineer in to come just take a look to make sure that all the structural, there's nothing compromised there. So more to come there, but definitely some damage on one of the portables. Yeah.
How old are those portables?
Maybe 10, yeah. It should not be happening.
I was going to say, what's the life expectancy of portables?
It varies. It depends on the quality of the portable that you buy when you buy them. There's the good, better, and best, and then there's the, economy version. And I will. Yeah, I'm gonna say we may have one. They still look good. I think they're. I shouldn't say that. I don't know, but we'll have to go back and look at that. I think they're definitely past their manufacturer's warranty. That's for sure. Okay, and then the last piece was obviously the budget, and that's a serious situation. And I appreciate employees that come out and speak on that. We were all just as concerned, especially the students when they come out and they talk about their extracurriculars. I appreciate you. I appreciate your concerns. I'm going to be following up with a couple of you. But last week we presented our 24-25 budget, and we presented the rationale for that budget. Maybe in a little bit of a different way that's been done before. And so while it was difficult, we did receive some good feedback from many people that that the presentation helped to bring greater clarity to the need. And in that, I think we opened up a door and a dialogue with the city that maybe perhaps wasn't there in the way that maybe it needed to be in clarity, the ways that needed to be in terms of clarity. It was our duty to really discuss potential effects of the funding and the shortfalls, and while there's a risk to doing that, and in terms of staff getting upset and kids getting stressed out, and administrators and the board, it was very stressful. I think it's necessary to begin the process of, we have a shortfall, and now we have to address those shortfalls and move forward. And so, once we get past a certain point in this budget, it's really going to be about rebuilding. There's a lot of amazing things still happening in Danbury, in our public schools, and we're going to work really hard to make sure that the cuts and reductions impact students the least. I'm very sensitive to the things that students enjoy and come to rely on in terms of their programs and athletics and schools. There will be, every department, every bargaining group is going to feel the effects of the budget. There's no other way around it. To what extent, in the coming weeks, we'll be talking about that a little bit more. The team has been working around the clock to analyze every grant, every contract, every opportunity, every instance and ways that we might be able to rearrange what we have in place, create economies that maybe didn't exist before. So sometimes you find things in the midst of this process that maybe you haven't seen before. So I'm excited in the sense that we're having different conversations, and I feel that we're going to, as we continue to work that process, that we'll be able to attend to some of the things that some folks are most worried about. It will still be difficult, but we're going to be working through that process. We're continuing to work through some of the staffing that we have here, analyzing positions that may have been open and have been funded. So we're looking at those. We're looking at all the alignments with our staffing. We are interviewing and working with leaders one-on-one to hear any ideas that they have, things that they've noticed that could be potentially cost savings. And we've had some great discussions about that. We're asking folks to start thinking about different models or approaches so that we're not kind of digging into the status quo of holding on to certain things that in the past and looking at different approaches and delivering services in different ways. We are working with our bargaining groups and our union folks as we move forward, as we begin that process that we've already begun to have open the doors on dialogue to make sure that the process itself is communicated and that it's fair and that we're working together on that. So I don't have any specific updates. I know everyone is waiting with bated breath on the cuts. I know that that's a stressor out there, but it's incumbent upon us to have due diligence. We're going through very carefully to make sure that as we put that together, that it's done well and that we do it right the first time. So that's my update.
Mr. Janelle?
I just want to recap that evening that you made that presentation to say that I'm going to echo what I've heard during the presentation. That was one of the most outstanding presentations made. But I think equally as important, the atmosphere in the room of the council people is completely different than what I've ever experienced. I felt they were absolutely sincere in saying, paraphrasing, sorry we can't deal with things right now, but we're willing to continue to work on that behalf. And I think that bridge is something that we haven't had before. And therefore, I may be putting my neck in the noose with Mrs. Cooper. My next statement is, I think on behalf of this board, I would like to say, personally, I think I can speak for my colleagues, you've done a fantastic job with the presentation. And I may have outspoken Mrs. Cooper in terms of speaking on behalf of the board, but I sincerely feel that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mrs. Janelle, what do you think that I should do to you?
What you normally do is run the meeting.
We're all working as a group. Thank you, Mr. Janelle. Before we move on, and it would behoove me, Mr. Farley Santos, I'd like to always welcome you and thank you for coming out to our meeting. Who's one of our state rep, and he works 2 little offices. So we're happy to have you here tonight to listen to our young people and hopefully influence our council and our mayor to maybe look at some more things as to how they can continue to support the board in a positive way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Under information, we have our Teacher of the Year award ceremony on Tuesday, April 23rd at Broadview Middle School. The reception starts at 5:30 and the program starts at 6 p.m. So we're looking forward to that.
Next is the board chairperson report. I would like to encourage all our board members that possibly can tomorrow night to be at City Hall when the mayor presents the budget and open it up for the public. This is the first time that I have been on this board in 32 years that they didn't do it during spring break. And we have been asking for years, other community groups have been asking for years not to have it happen during spring break. So I would like to say thank you to the mayor, his delegation, or whoever thought that it was need to go ahead and have this before spring break when people are away and making vacation plans. So I encourage my board members to go down tomorrow. If you just want to say hello, support the budget, please don't let your board chair just do it all by herself. We are a group working together. I need you to come down and voice your concern. That's showing to me that you are supporting what our administration is putting forth. Okay, thank you. Memorial Day Parade. Let's all have a beautiful smile, and Lauren is going to check into getting a float for Memorial Day. Wouldn't that be nice?
Warm rolls, apparently.
Gladys, I won't be able to do much. I got a family,
Okay.
Sorry,
We'll miss you.
thank you. There's so many pictures.
And then just one last thing, sometimes we talk about our email, and have you read this? Most of us so busy, we're up in here, over here to that meeting, over here running, doing 2 meetings sometime in one night. And I appreciate our superintendent because everywhere I show up, she's there. And, she's representing us very well. And the other night when we had a citywide PTO meeting, the question kept coming up from parents. And she explained the difference between shelter in place versus a lockdown, because some parents really didn't get that. So do you want to sort of briefly talk about that?
Sure. So the shelter in place is when you're in the school's locked from the inside, right? No one can come in or out, but the students have some ability to move inside the school. We don't want them moving around unnecessarily. If you have to go to the bathroom, you've got to change to go to lunch. They're in the building, so they're not out at recess, they're not out at gym in the field, they're inside the school. And that's usually as a precaution, and it gives us the school a quick ability to pivot should we need to move to a lockdown if something were to change quickly. So it's the shelter in place is really a safe catch to just alert without alarming so much, to keep the kids safe. And the lockdown is really when we are lights off, away from the door, you're hovering down, there are no devices, and it's much more of an imminent threat in the immediate area, and that we want students to be as invisible as possible. So there was some concern around the terminology and how interpreting that, and so we had some parents that wanted that clarified, and they were satisfied with understanding them.
Thank you. I have nothing else on my agenda. I will ask for a motion at this time to adjourn if no one has any other questions.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Seconded, motion made by Al, seconded by Michelle. All those in favor, could I hear aye?